Chapter 13. At this moment, in the courtyard next to Lu Ming's, Li Ping and Qiu Autumn were washing clothes. In front of them was a large pile of clothes, all of which were changed by the Lu family's servants. In front of him stood a fat middle-aged man with a mustache. Behind him were two burly men with sturdy bodies. This fat man was the great elder's butler, Duan San. At this moment, Duan San sneered and stared at Qiu Autumn and Li Ping. "Oh my, you want to sue me in the elder's courtyard? What nonsense. After today, Miss Lu Yao will take over the position of the head of the Lu family. By then, you will be nothing. Let me tell you, you will have to do these chores every day, so you better practice it now. You don't even think about it. My young master will not let you succeed." Qiu Autumn was so angry that her face turned red. She pointed at Duan San and shouted, "Lu Ming, that trash. Ha ha ha, you still think that Lu Ming can save you? Stop dreaming. If it wasn't for the fact that we couldn't find him today, he would be cleaning the toilets now." Duan San let out a shrill laugh that was unpleasant to hear. His pair of small eyes emitted a lustful light as they swept over Qiu Yu's body. He said, "I didn't expect that after not seeing you for a while, you would become so beautiful. How about this, you come to my room and serve me well? As long as you serve me well, I can consider not letting you wash the toilet. Don't even think about it." Qiu Autumn's face turned pale as she subconsciously took 2 steps back. Duan San's face turned cold. "Don't even think about it? I just want to take this girl down and bring her to my room." "Yes," the 2 strong men behind Duan San answered. No, I beg you, Butler Duan, let Qiu Autumn go. I will do whatever you want me to do. Please let Qiu Autumn go." Li Ping stood in front of Qiu Autumn and looked at Duan San pleadingly. "Go away." The 2 strong men shouted coldly. One of them waved his hand and was about to slap Li Ping. At this moment, bang! The gate of the courtyard suddenly exploded, sending broken wood flying everywhere. The incident happened so suddenly that the 2 men also stopped. Everyone's gaze turned towards the door. A young figure strode in. "Lu Ming, it's you? You came at the right time. Now go clean the toilet." Seeing that it was Lu Ming, Duan San let out a sigh of relief, and a cold smile appeared on his face. This young man was naturally Lu Ming. Lu Ming didn't even look at Duan San. He walked over to Li Ping and asked, "Mother, are you all right?" "Mother is fine." "Ming, or why are you here? We'll take care of things here." "Leave quickly," Li Ping said anxiously. Lu Ming shook his head and said, "Mother, I'm late. From today onwards, I won't allow you to suffer such grievances." "Lu Ming, you trash. I'm talking to you. Can't you hear me?" Duan San's voice came from behind him. Lu Ming slowly turned around and stared at Duan San. His eyes were incomparably cold, like the eyes of a demon from hell. The situation at the scene caused Lu Ming to feel an intense anger. It filled his chest and could explode at any time. The blazing anger turned into a cold killing intent. A cold sentence came from Lu Ming's mouth. "Duan San, you deserve to die." The cold gaze caused Duan San's heart to turn cold. However, when he thought that Lu Ming was just a trash, his courage increased. He revealed a sinister expression and shouted, "Lu Ming, you dare threaten me? You're courting death. Break his limbs for me." "Yes." The 2 brawny men also revealed sinister expressions and reached out to grab Lu Ming's arm. These 2 brawny men were at the peak of the middle stage of the Meridian Opening Realm. Li Ping turned pale with fright. Duan San sneered. Crack, crack. The sound of 2 bones breaking rang out, followed by 2 mournful screams. Duan San's sneer froze, and Li Ping was stunned, because the ones who screamed were 2 brawny men. Lu Ming only grabbed the 2 brawny men's wrists, and the bones in their wrists were crushed. "Ah, my hands!" The 2 brawny men screamed. Boom, boom. Lu Ming's true qi gushed out and surged into the bodies of the 2 burly men. The 2 burly men snorted and flew far away. They fell heavily on the ground and were no longer breathing. Their internal organs had been shattered by Lu Ming. At this moment, Duan San reacted and screamed, "Lu Ming, you've got guts. They're the Grand Elder's men. You dare to kill them? You're courting death. You're the one who's going to die." Lu Ming snorted coldly. He took a step forward and punched at Duan-san. With a punch, true qi gushed out and completely enveloped Duan-san. This true qi was too strong. Duan-san felt as if he had fallen into an ice cellar. He couldn't use his strength as a martial warrior. He screamed hysterically, "No!" Bang! As soon as he said that, Lu Ming's fist landed on his stomach. Duan-san screamed. His fat body was thrown out like a dead pig. He fell heavily on the ground, stirring up a cloud of dust. Lu Ming, you destroyed my cultivation. Miss Lu Yao and the Grand Elder won't let you go. Duan-san screamed in despair. Is that so? Lu Ming walked to the front of Duan-san and stepped on his leg forcefully. Crack! Duan-san's leg bones were broken. Duan-san screamed like a pig being slaughtered. Tears and snot flowed down his face. Lu Ming's eyes were cold. He stared at Duan-san and said, "Just now, you said that you would break my limbs. Now I will break your limbs." After saying that, he stepped on Duan-san's other leg, breaking his bones. My leg. Lu Ming, no, young Master Ming, I beg you spare me. All of this was ordered by the Grand Elder and Lu Chuan. How could I dare to disobey their orders? Duan-san screamed in pain. The Grand Elder and Lu Chuan? Lu Ming's eyes were extremely cold. Then he kicked Duan-san's arms twice in a row. Then he turned around and walked towards Li Ping and Autumn Moon. "Ming-er, what's your cultivation?" At this time, Li Ping looked at Lu Ming with tears in her eyes. "Mother, I have had a fortuitous encounter during this period of time. I will tell you in detail later. Let's go to the martial arts practice field now," Lu Ming said. Li Ping's face changed. "Ming-er, go to the martial arts practice field? The Grand Elder and Lu Yao are there. Don't be rash." Although Lu Ming's cultivation had improved greatly during this period of time, could he be Lu Yao's opponent? Not only did Lu Yao awaken a 5th-grade bloodline, but she also married into the mystic essence sword sex Duanmu family. She heard that the Duanmu family had sent a lot of precious elixirs during this period of time. During this period, Lu Yao had been cultivating in seclusion. She was naturally worried about Lu Ming. Lu Ming smiled confidently and said, "Mother, don't worry. Lu Yao can't take the patriarch of the Lu family away. No one can. It's father's. I will kill whoever wants to touch it." "Madam, don't worry. Young master can definitely do it," Autumn Moon also said. Chapter 14. The Lu family's martial arts field was located on the east side of the Lu family mansion. It was huge and could easily accommodate 100,000 people. In the middle of the martial arts field, there was a huge platform that was 200 meters long and wide. It was made of steel and rock. On the north, east, and west of the martial arts field, there were majestic grandstands. The north grandstand was the main seat for the Lu family members. The east and west grandstands were for the other famous families in Firestorm City. At that moment, 7 white-haired old men were seated at the top of the main seats. These 7 old men were the 7 core elders of the Lu clan's elder compound. The core elders of the Lu clan's elder council were the most senior elders who were jointly elected by the Lu clan. In the end, the position was held by those who wholeheartedly served the Lu clan. Therefore, relatively speaking, it was the fairest position and would not be biased towards one branch. They put the Lu family's interests first. Further down the hall was the Lu clan's grand elder, Lu Yunxiong. Beside him was a 15-year-old girl in a snow-white dress. Her beauty was beyond compare. She was none other than Lu Yao. "Congratulations, Grand Elder Lu. I heard that your daughter is extremely talented and has awakened a level 5 bloodline. Her future is limitless." The Li family's patriarch, Li Fu, congratulated the Grand Elder. "You're welcome," the Grand Elder replied casually. Following that, some of Firestorm City's local families and famous figures walked over to congratulate the Grand Elder. The Grand Elder nodded casually in response. Roar! Roar! Suddenly, the roars of beasts could be heard from the street. It was as if thousands of beasts were charging at the same time. Soon, dozens of 2-meter-tall and 4-meter-long blood-red tigers appeared in front of the crowd. Sitting on top of each tiger was a figure wearing a fiery red robe. A powerful fiendish aura, as well as a scorching aura, filled the entire area. The red flaming tigers are from the White Tiger Hall, one of the 5 halls of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Are they from the Duanmu family? The crowd exclaimed. The White Tiger Hall sent people here. Are they here to recruit Lu Yao as their disciple? Someone guessed. The first elder stood up with a swoosh and walked down from the spectator stand. His face was filled with excitement as he cupped his fists and said, "The Mystic Essence Sword sect's White Tiger Hall has honored guests. I apologize for not going out to meet you." "Haha, Grand Elder, you're too polite. I'm the deacon of the Mystic Essence Sword sect's White Tiger Hall, Duanmu Qing. I'm here to congratulate Lu Yao on taking charge of the Lu family and officially recruit her as a disciple of the White Tiger Hall." A red flaming tiger, a middle-aged man in red flaming tiger hall. "Emissary, you are too polite. Please take a seat," the first elder said with a beaming face. Duanmu Qing faintly smiled and brought 2 people off the scarlet flame tiger to the main seat. The others stopped the scarlet flame tiger on the side. Looks like Lu Yao's talent is really terrifying. There are still 2 months before the Mystic Essence Sword sect officially recruits disciples. Normally, people would take the initiative to go to the Mystic Essence Sword sect and go through various tests. Only those who pass the tests can join the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Isn't that so? It's said that Lu Yao has caught the eye of a genius from the Mystic Essence Sword sect's Duanmu clan. Her future is limitless. The Lu family has a genius. She's even more talented than Lu Yintian. All around, everyone was discussing excitedly. Caw. At this moment, a loud bird cry rang out in the sky. It was incomparably sharp and resounded through the sky. Even from far away, it could be heard clearly. The crowd involuntarily looked in that direction. Then their pupils involuntarily shrank. It was a gigantic goshawk. Its entire body was snow-white, and it was incomparably huge. When it spread its wings, it was at least 50 meters wide. Its claws were as sharp as knives and its eyes were sharp. When it looked at the crowd, they felt a chill down their spines. There were a few people on the eagle's back. Snowy Night Eagle. It's the Snowy Night Eagle from the Mystic Essence Sword sect's Vermilion Bird Hall. Someone from the Vermilion Bird Hall is here too. The crowd exclaimed. I'm Lu Qian from the Mystic Essence Sword sect's Vermilion Bird Hall. I'm here to represent the Vermilion Bird Hall to recruit Lu Yao as a disciple. On the snowy night, a young woman in her 30s with a graceful figure spoke up. Hiss! Suddenly, a giant flying snake flew over from afar. It was filled with a murderous aura. Haha, Duanmu Qing, Lu Qian, the White Tiger Hall and Vermilion Bird Hall are here quickly. Tai Zhong from the Azure Dragon Hall of the Mystic Essence Sword sect would like to recruit Miss Lu Yao as a disciple. Gao Shi from the Black Tortoise Hall of the Mystic Essence Sword sect would like to recruit Miss Lu Yao as a disciple. Following that, another voice sounded. The empire that Lu Ming was in was called the Burning Sun Empire. The Burning Sun Empire had a vast territory. Windy Fire City was only a small city in the vast Burning Sun Empire. There were no less than 10,000 cities in the Burning Sun Empire. There were 5 major sects in the Burning Sun Empire. These 5 sects were located in the north, south, east, and west of the Burning Sun Empire. They ruled the huge Burning Sun Empire. The Mystic Essence Sword sect occupied the eastern part of the Burning Sun Empire. Firestorm City was located in the eastern part of the Burning Sun Empire. It was under the jurisdiction of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. The Mystic Essence Sword sect had 5 halls. They were the Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Black Tortoise, Vermilion Bird and Qilin. The Duanmu clan was one of the major clans of the Mystic Essence Sword sect's White Tiger Hall. Although they were from the same sect, the 5 halls would compete with each other. There was no lack of open and covert competition between the 5 halls. Therefore, when there was a genius, they would naturally want to recruit them to their respective halls. The arrival of 4 batches of people caused a commotion. Oh my god, 4 of the 5 halls of the Mystic Essence Sword sect are here. They all want to recruit Miss Lu Yao as a disciple. This is unbelievable. Yeah, the Mystic Essence Sword sect has almost 2,000 cities. The 5 halls rarely take the initiative to recruit someone as a disciple. This time 4 halls have appeared. Amazing, amazing. The people around them were discussing excitedly. If the White Tiger Hall had sent people to recruit Lu Yao as a disciple, It would be fine because Lu Yao had a marriage alliance with the genius of the Duanmu clan. But now, the other 3 halls had sent people to recruit Lu Yao as a disciple. This could only mean that Lu Yao's talent was too good. It had alarmed the other halls. The fact that the 4 halls of the Mystic Essence Sword sect wanted to recruit Lu Yao as a disciple made her shine even brighter. Emissaries, please take a seat. The first elder quickly invited the 3 halls to take a seat. He was smiling so widely that he could not close his mouth. He was truly overjoyed. He had expected the White Tiger Hall to come, but he had not expected the other 3 halls to come. Unknowingly, this had given him even more face. Yao, this is all because of you. The first elder clenched his fists and muttered to himself. He knew that the 4 halls had sent people here because of Lu Yao, his daughter. At this moment he sighed. His 3 years of hard work had not been in vain. It was all worth it. Vermilion Bird Hall, Azure Dragon Hall, Black Tortoise Hall, what are you doing here? Lu Yao is from my White Tiger Hall. You want to recruit her? Duan Muqing looked at the emissaries of the other 3 halls with an ugly expression. Haha, Duan Muqing, I know that Lu Yao and Duan Mulin of your White Tiger Hall have a marriage alliance. Even so, Miss Lu Yao doesn't have to choose the White Tiger Hall. She belongs to the Mystic Essence Sword sect. It's the same if she chooses the other halls. It's just a matter of whether she's suitable or not. Tai Zhong of the Azure Dragon Hall laughed. I think you're going to make a wasted trip this time. Duan Muqing snorted coldly. The first elder was even more excited. The Lu family gathering had not started yet, and the 4 halls were already trying to recruit Lu Yao. This made his face red with excitement. At this moment, a fragrant wind blew over. A graceful figure walked over and instantly attracted everyone's attention. Hall Master Mu, I didn't expect you to come too. Please take a seat. The first elder quickly welcomed her. The person who came was the Hall Master of the Spiritual Medicine Hall, Mulins. The Mystic Essence Sword sect was behind the Spiritual Medicine Hall. The first elder naturally did not dare to be disrespectful. Martial Ant Mu, you're here too. Lu Qian of the Vermilion Bird Courtyard hurriedly stepped forward and saluted. This made many people surprised. One after another, they guessed that Mulan's status in the Vermilion Bird Courtyard was not ordinary. Lu Qian was more than 30 years old, yet she still called Mulan martial uncle. Yes, I'm here to watch the show. Mulan smiled and sat down beside Lu Qian. Why is she here? The people of the other 3 halls were shocked. Chapter 15. At this moment, a middle-aged man in his 40s walked up to the platform in the middle of the arena. He was the head of the 2nd branch of the Lu clan, and also the 2nd elder of the Lu clan, Lu Yunfeng. It's our great honor to have the Mystic Essence Sword sect's emissaries here for today's clan meeting. Lu Yunfeng started off with a series of pleasantries. Then he changed the topic and said, therefore the young disciples of the Lu clan must perform well today. Show me what you've got. Who knows? Maybe you'll be recommended into the Mystic Essence Sword sect. As soon as Lu Yunfeng finished speaking, the young disciples of the Lu clan started to breathe heavily. They rubbed their palms together and were ready to fight. Normally, the Mystic Essence Sword sect would only start recruiting disciples 2 months later. However, at that time, the geniuses from almost 2,000 cities in the east of the Sun Empire would compete together. The chances of success were too low. However, if they were chosen by the emissaries and were recommended to join the Mystic Essence Sword sect, they would definitely soar. On the main seat, the emissaries smiled and did not refute. This made the eyes of the young disciples of the Lu clan even brighter. Seeing that he had achieved his goal, Lu Yunfeng's face lit up. He started to announce, "All right, the clan meeting will now officially begin. This time, the clan meeting will be divided into 3 steps. The first step is to test your perseverance, the second step is to check your pulse, and the third step is to compete." As everyone knows, the path of martial arts is filled with hardships and tribulations. So without a strong willpower, it's impossible to walk far. Now all of you who want to participate in the clan meeting, come up and take the first step, climb the stairway of flames. As soon as he finished speaking, the young disciples of the Lu clan all walked up to the platform. These were the young disciples of the Lu clan. There were both males and females, but none of them were over 18 years old. At this moment, Lu Yao stood up on the main platform. Instantly, everyone's eyes were on her. Lu Yao was wearing a long white dress. Her body was slim and her skin was as white as jade. Coupled with her beautiful face, she was like a fairy that had walked out of a painting. Some busybodies once called Lu Yao the #1 beauty of Firestorm City. It was not an exaggeration. She walked gracefully towards the main stage, towards the middle of the martial arts practice field. Peerless beauty! Many people exclaimed. Not only was Lu Yao's beauty outstanding, her talent was also unparalleled. I heard that before Lu Yao awakened her bloodline, she had already opened 9 meridians. After awakening her 5th-ranked bloodline, she immediately opened a divine meridian. Now she's even more unfathomable. If I could marry such a heavenly genius, I would have no regrets in my life. I heard that Lu Yao has already married the peerless genius of the White Tiger Hall's Duanmu clan, Duanmu Lin. Perhaps only a genius like Duanmu Lin is worthy of Lu Yao? I heard that Lu Ming and Lu Yao from the main bloodline of the Lu family were very close. I thought they were a couple. How can that trash be worthy of Miss Lu Yao? That's like a fresh flower stuck in a pile of cow dung. Fortunately, they didn't end up together. Otherwise, the heavens would be too unfair. Many people were discussing. In the crowd, Lu Ming heard this and smiled faintly. He would shut these people up soon. After a while, Lu Yao stepped onto the battle stage. Just by standing there casually, the other disciples of the Lu clan beside her paled in comparison. On the main stage, the envoys of the 4 great academies all looked at Lu Yao. After all, they were all here for Lu Yao. At this moment, more than 30 young men and women from the 7 bloodlines of the Lu clan had already stepped onto the battle stage. Is there anyone else? The second elder asked loudly. At this moment, a figure walked out from the crowd and walked towards the battle stage step by step. Lu Ming? Seeing this figure, many people were stunned. Isn't that the trash from the main bloodline of the Lu clan, Lu Ming? Why? Is he also participating in the Lu clan meetings test? Many people were surprised. On the main seat, the first elder's eyes turned cold. He didn't expect Lu Ming to really dare to come. The 7 core elders of the Lu clan sitting at the top were also curious and surprised. Ming. In the crowd, Li Ping and Xiaomun held hands tightly. In the battle stage, Lu Yao looked at Lu Ming and frowned. Lu Ming, why are you here? You shouldn't be here. Get down. Lu Ming didn't say anything. He just looked at Lu Yao. This was the first time Lu Ming saw Lu Yao after his bloodline was taken away. However, the woman in front of him, who used to be deeply in love with him, could no longer make him feel the slightest bit of warmth. There was only coldness in his eyes. Seeing Lu Ming's expression, Lu Yao shook her head and said, Lu Ming, I know that as the successor of the main bloodline, you feel indignant that I have to inherit the position of the family head. However, you should be clear of your own qualifications. The position of the family head belongs to the capable. You and I are too far apart. There is an insurmountable gap between us. You and I are destined to be from different worlds. My world has just begun. You are destined to be mediocre. Everything about you is over. Is that so? You are really confident. However, you are right about one thing. We are indeed from different worlds. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Then he stood aside and ignored Lu Yao. He didn't come here to waste his breath. He came here today to speak with his actions. Lu Ming. On the main stage, the great elder shouted coldly. Lu Ming turned around and looked at the great elder. He wanted to see what this old man had to say. Lu Ming, you were born weak and sickly. You can't condense your true energy. Yao Er is kind. She accompanied you every day, because you are the successor of the main bloodline. She encouraged you and wanted you to be motivated. If you could awaken your father's bloodline, you could also inherit the patriarch position. Unfortunately, you can't even awaken your bloodline. Naturally, you can't inherit the patriarch position. Yao Er just awakened her 5th grade bloodline. She also received the favor of the Duanmu clan's genius, who wants to marry her. Yet you harbor hatred in your heart. Not only do you not care about Yao Er's kindness to you, you also have improper thoughts about her. You even want to destroy the marriage between Yao heir and the Duanmu clan. You are simply despicable. Fine. Since you are the successor of the main bloodline and brother Yuntian's only son, I can let bygones be bygones. Now get down. The great elder said indifferently. What? This Lu Ming is actually so despicable? Miss Lu Yao accompanied him for several years in order to take care of him. How could he be so deranged as to bite the hand that feeds him? Despicable. No wonder this trash is trash. When the surrounding people heard the great elder's words, they all glared at Lu Ming. Lu Yinxiongyu, don't talk nonsense. In the crowd, Li Ping was trembling with anger. She pointed at the great elder and shouted, "Mother, there is no need to fight with such a person." Lu Ming said to Li Ping. The great elder was simply despicable. Obviously, they were the ones who were despicable and shameless. They had schemed against Lu Ming for 3 years and seized his bloodline. But now, they were twisting the truth and slandering Lu Ming for having ill intentions toward Lu Yao. They even said that he wanted to destroy the marriage alliance between Lu Yao and the Duanmu family. Lu Ming was too lazy to say anything to such a person. The truth would be revealed soon. How could there be such a person? This is simply despicable. Such a trash who can't even awaken his bloodline. What's the point of letting him stay on the stage? Get off the stage. Duanmu Qing harumphed coldly. Who do you think you are? What does the Lu clan's meeting have to do with you? Lu Ming gave Duanmu Qing a sideways glance, not giving him any face. How dare you? Do you know who I am? Duanmu Qing was enraged. He stood up with cold killing intent. Lu Ming, you trash. How dare you offend the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's White Tiger clan's envoy? The great elder also pointed at Lu Ming and shouted. What does it have to do with me? Lu Yunxiong, today is the Lu clan's meeting. Are you trying to help an outsider against me? The successor of the Lu clan's main bloodline? Do you think the core elders are just decorations? Lu Ming gave Duanmu Qing and the great elder a sideways glance. His words were clear and loud. The surrounding people were dumbfounded. Lu Ming was too bold. How dare he offend the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's envoy? You. The great elder's face turned red. Yunxiong, Duanmu Qing, since Lu Ming is young and ignorant, let's forget about this matter. As expected, one of the core elders of the Lu clan spoke. They would not side with anyone, and would only protect the interests of the Lu clan. They would even protect the interests of the main bloodline. Otherwise, they would not have spent so much resources to help Lu Ming awaken his bloodline. That's right, Duanmu Qing. Why are you arguing with the junior? Don't you think it's embarrassing? Mulins glanced at Duanmu Qing and said indifferently. Humph. Duanmu Qing harumphed coldly. However, he seemed to be afraid of Mulins. He did not say anything and sat down with an ugly expression. The great elder also sat down with a pale face. Lu Ming, let's see how you will die when Yao takes over the Lu clan. The great elder's eyes were gloomy. All right. The Lu clan did not say that those who have not awakened their bloodline cannot participate in the meeting. Lu Ming can participate. Let's begin. Chapter 16. All right, let's begin the test of perseverance, Lu Yunfeng announced. On the left side of the platform, there was a staircase made of jade. There were a total of 9 steps, and that was the staircase of flames. The Lu family had spent a large sum of money to hire an inscription master to refine it. There were strange inscriptions carved on it, and it was very mysterious. As long as one walked up, the inscriptions on the staircase would be activated and emit a scorching aura that enveloped the person who walked up. When one was on the staircase, it was as if one was in flames and had to endure the pain and torture of being burned by the flames. Even though it was not real flames, it was no different from being in real flames. Moreover, each of the 9 staircases was hotter than the last. The test this time was to see who could spend the longest time at the top of the stairs, and who could climb the highest step. The higher the staircase, the longer the duration, the stronger the willpower. I'll go first. A disciple of the Lu family, who was about 16 years old, was the first to walk up the staircase of flames. When he stepped on the staircase, the entire staircase of flames immediately shone brightly. It flickered with a fiery red light. The young man's expression changed drastically, and he seemed to be in pain. However, he gritted his teeth and took another step onto the second staircase. Then he stepped onto the third. When he reached there, he stopped and began to resist the pain of being burned by the flames. However, in just 10 breaths, his body began to tremble, and his face turned pale. His expression was ferocious. It was obvious that he was in great pain. After another 10 breaths of time, he let out a loud cry. He could no longer resist and jumped down the stairway of flames. Lu Li, third staircase, 20 breaths. Lu Yinfeng announced. Following that, the disciples of the Lu family went up one by one to take the test. However, most of them were on the third and fourth staircases. They only lasted for about 20 to 30 breaths. Let me try. Lu Chuan walked out and glanced at Lu Ming. He sneered and stepped onto the staircase. He was very fast and did not stop at all. He directly stepped onto the fifth staircase. Then, he stopped on the fifth staircase and stayed there for a total of 52 breaths. That made everyone exclaim in surprise. As expected of Lu Yao's brother. Her talent is unparalleled, and her brother is not bad either. He can actually stay on the fifth staircase for 52 breaths. Duanmu Qing praised. Haha, you flatter me, emissary Duanmu. The Grand Elder laughed loudly. Lu Chuan smiled smugly. Afterward, the test continued. Quite a few people had pretty good willpower, and 2 of them were not weaker than Lu Chuan. One of them stayed on the 5th step for 52 breaths, while the other stayed on the 5th step for 55 breaths. However, no one dared to step onto the 6th step. Soon, only Lu Yao and Lu Ming were left on the platform. Lu Yao glanced at Lu Ming and walked towards the stairway of flames. At this moment, everyone's eyes were focused on Lu Yao. Lu Yao had too many halos around her. Everyone wanted to see how strong her willpower was. Even if one's talent was high, one's willpower might not be strong. Lu Yao lifted her foot and stepped onto the first step. Then she stepped onto the second step. One step after another, he did not stop at all. In one breath, he reached the 6th step. The 6th step. He had already surpassed all the previous people. Everyone held their breaths and watched seriously. However, Lu Yao did not stop. She took another step and stepped onto the 7th step. Lu Yao actually managed to reach the 7th step. How amazing! Let's see how long she can last. Everyone guessed. But soon they got the answer. 86 breaths. Lu Yao stayed on the 7th step for a full 86 breaths of time before she jumped down. Amazing, really amazing. I didn't expect Lu Yao to not only be talented, but also have such strong willpower. She's really a genius. Isn't that so? That's the 7th step. The previous steps can't be compared to it. Everyone was talking about it. Lu Yao looked calm as if she had done something insignificant. She turned around and walked to the side. When she walked past Lu Ming, there was contempt in her eyes. Did you see that? That's the difference between you and me. Her soft voice echoed in Lu Ming's ears. Is that so? You have to remember this. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile as he walked toward the stairs of flames. You're overestimating yourself. The Grand Elder sneered. How many steps do you think Lu Ming can reach? On the platform, Lu Chuan smiled and asked the other young people. In my opinion, he can reach the 2nd step at most. I don't think he can last more than 10 breaths on the 2nd step. The other young people laughed. However, as soon as they finished speaking, the smiles on their faces froze and they couldn't help but widen their eyes. At that moment, Lu Ming had already reached the 3rd step. However, he didn't seem to have any intention of stopping. He continued on to the 4th step. Then, it was the 5th step, the 6th step. When Lu Ming reached the 7th step, he still didn't stop. He took another step and reached the 8th step. However, that wasn't the end of Lu Ming's journey. At that moment, he lifted his foot and took another step. Everyone's heart seemed to be in suspense when Lu Ming took that step. Then, they fell heavily when Lu Ming stepped on the 9th step. Then there was a violent uproar. God, Lu Ming actually stepped on the 9th step. Is there a mistake? So what if he steps on it? Whether he can hold on or not is the most important thing. If he can't hold on and comes down in less than a breath, that'll be embarrassing. The Grand Elder said coldly. He's overestimating himself. It'll be fun if he can't bear the pain and his mind collapses. He'll become an idiot. Ming young master. Below the platform, Li Ping and Qiu Autumn Moon clenched their fists. They were sweating and their eyes were filled with worry. However, slowly, the discussion on the platform became softer. That was because 10 breaths had passed. Lu Ming actually stood on the 9th step for 10 breaths and didn't come down. Obviously, 10 breaths was just the beginning. Time passed slowly. 20 breaths, 30 breaths soon. More than 100 breaths had passed. However, Lu Ming was still on the platform. He was tall and slender, standing on the 9th step like a sharp sword. The entire place was silent. I think his mind has collapsed. Could he have died on the platform? The Grand Elder said coldly. However, at that moment Lu Ming smiled and said, Lu Yao, you're right. This is the difference between you and me. His words were like a slap to the Grand Elder's face. It was also a slap to Lu Yao's face. Lu Yao was the one who said this to Lu Ming earlier. Now Lu Ming returned the words to her with the truth. Lu Yao looked at Lu Ming on the fiery steps and her eyes flickered. However, she soon calmed down and said, Lu Ming, you've been a piece of trash your whole life and have been looked down upon by others. However, you've trained your mind well, and you're quite resilient. However, on the path of martial arts, willpower is only the foundation. Talent is the most important. Now I'll show you the true difference between us. Everyone was enlightened after hearing those words. It made sense. Lu Ming was a piece of trash and had been mocked for years. It was normal for him to have a firm mind. I see. Duan Wuqing sneered. Is that really the case? A strange smile appeared on Mulan's face. She was looking forward to seeing the expressions of Duan Wuqing and the Grand Elder when they saw Lu Ming's performance. On the stairs, Lu Ming's gaze was calm. He smiled faintly and walked down the fiery steps as if he was taking a stroll. All right, the first round is over. Let's begin the second round. Take your pulse and bring them up to the altar, the second elder announced. Chapter 17. It was easy to check one's pulse. One only needed to place one's palm on the altar and infuse one's true qi into it. The altar would react. The altar would estimate one's potential based on the density of one's true qi, the density of one's acupoints, and the toughness of one's meridians. Stars would light up accordingly. The greater the potential, the more stars there would be. The highest was 9 stars. Above the 9 stars was a rainbow. Only when one's divine meridians were unlocked would a rainbow appear. A rainbow would appear when a divine meridian was unlocked. All right, let's begin, the second elder announced. One by one, the young men and women stepped forward. Most of them had 4 stars, 5 stars, and so on. It was only when Lu Chuan stepped forward that 7 stars lit up on the altar. 7 stars. That's not bad. He can join the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Duan Wuqing nodded. Not bad. With such talent, he can pass all the tests in the Mystic Essence Sword sect and become a disciple of the sect. Tai Zhong from the Azure Dragon Institute said. The pulse examination continued. Following which, 2 7-star potential patients appeared. There was even an 8-star potential patient. This caused a wave of exclamations. Those who had 7 stars had more than just unlocked 9 meridians. Even the first divine meridian had unlocked a few major acupoints. It was not difficult for many geniuses to reach the pinnacle of the meridian opening realm. However, after reaching the pinnacle of the meridian opening realm, they would stop for a long time to unlock their divine meridian. Many people could not unlock a complete divine meridian, but unlocking a few major acupoints on the divine meridian would increase their potential. Every time a major acupoint was unlocked, one's potential would increase. However, none of the disciples of the Lu clan had unlocked a complete divine meridian. Soon only Lu Yao and Lu Ming were left. Lu Ming, open your eyes wide and take a good look. Look at our potential and see how big the difference is. Lu Yao glanced at Lu Ming nonchalantly and walked toward the altar. Everyone's attention was focused on Lu Yao again. Lu Yao had awakened a level 5 bloodline. They had heard that she had unlocked a divine meridian. After that, she went into seclusion for 2 months. What level would she be at now? Everyone was looking forward to it. As for Lu Ming, he was just a good-for-nothing with a decent willpower, so no one took him seriously. Lu Yao stretched out her jade-like hand and placed it on the altar. A fiery red true qi was injected into the altar. Wang. The altar shook. Then one star after another began to condense in the sky above it. Too soon the number of stars on the altar reached 6. But it didn't stop. Immediately, the 7th star was formed, followed by the 8th, the 9th. When the 9 stars gathered together, they formed a long rainbow that soared into the sky. Rainbow pierces the sun. This represented a complete divine vein. However, that wasn't the end. Following that, a second streak of light soared into the sky. At the same time, specks of light began to shine from Lu Yao's body. That was the acupoint that she had opened. All 81 major acupoints lit up, then 82, 83. In the end, a total of 99 light spots shone out. The 99 light dots represented that Lu Yao had opened 99 major acupoints and 2 divine veins. Everyone in the spectator stand stood up and looked at Lu Yao in shock, including the 7 core elders of the Lu family and the envoys of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Even Mulan's eyes were filled with amazement. Lu Yao stood in front of the altar in a snow-white dress. 99 light spots shone on her body. On the altar, 2 streaks of light pierced the sun. She looked like a fairy that had descended from the heavens. She was elegant, pure and pure. Not far away, Lu Ming seemed very small and insignificant. Ha ha. The first elder couldn't help but laugh. Monster, she's really a monster. With Lu Yao and the Lu family, they're going to soar in the future. No other force in Firestorm City can compete with them. That's right, such a monster. No wonder the peerless genius of the Duanmu family is engaged to Lu Yao. I heard that Duanmu Lin has also opened 2 divine veins. With the 2 of them working together, they're a perfect match. Firestorm City will have another story to tell. No wonder the 7 core elders of the Lu family let Lu Yao take charge of the Lu family. It's a pity that such a genius doesn't take charge of the Lu family. If it were me, I would have already given up the position of patriarch. Of course. I heard that she has opened 2 divine veins and has the potential to become a martial king. How terrifying. Could it be that Firestorm City will give birth to a martial king in the future? Around them, some of the small families and forces in Firestorm City were discussing. Miss Lu Yao, if you join the Black Tortoise Institute, we're willing to provide you with Earth-level cultivation techniques and Earth-level martial skills. You'll be promoted to a silver disciple. Gao Shi from the Black Tortoise Institute stood up excitedly and threw an olive branch to Lu Yao. Miss Lu Yao, if you join the Azure Dragon Institute, not only will we provide you with Earth-level cultivation techniques and martial skills, you'll be promoted to a silver disciple. We'll also find a silver-gowned elder to be your master and teach you how to cultivate. Tai Zhong from the Azure Dragon Institute did not want to be left behind. He threw out an even more attractive offer. What are you doing? Miss Lu Yao is already married to a genius from the White Tiger Institute. She should join the White Tiger Institute. Furthermore, the offer from the White Tiger Institute will definitely be better than yours. Duan Muqing looked at Gao Shi and Tai Zhong unhappily and said loudly. She had opened 2 divine veins with a rank 5 bloodline. She had the potential to become a martial king in the future. Although it was only a possibility, such a genius was worthy of being nurtured by a sect. Naturally, they would want to recruit her into their own institute. Miss Lu Yao. Lu Qian from the Vermilion Bird Institute was about to speak, but she was stopped by Mulan's. Wait, let's see. Mulan's had a strange smile on her face. Martial Uncle Mu. Lu Qian was a little anxious. If she didn't open her mouth at this time and didn't offer any conditions, Lu Yao's chances of choosing the Vermilion Bird Courtyard would be very slim. She didn't know why Mulan wanted to stop her, but Mulan's identity was no small matter. Since she had spoken, Lu Qian was helpless and could only watch anxiously. The surrounding crowd gasped and revealed an extremely envious expression at the same time. For the sake of a single person, several great academies had offered generous terms. How glorious was this? If it were them, they would wake up laughing in their dreams. At that instant, Lu Yao withdrew her qi. The two rays of light disappeared together with the light dots on her body. She walked toward Lu Ming and said, "Lu Ming, do you see it now? The difference between you and me is like the distance between the heavens and the earth. We will never cross paths. Do you still have the courage to challenge me now?" After saying this, Lu Yao was about to leave the ring. "You only opened 2 divine veins. Is that impressive?" Lu Ming's disdainful voice could be heard. "What?" Lu Yao paused and turned around. Lu Ming strode to the front of the altar. "Haha, Lu Ming, you were born with a weak body and blocked meridians. Now you want to check your pulse? Aren't you afraid of embarrassing yourself?" Lu Chuan sneered. "Haha, Lu Ming is right. Lu Ming, you should go down. You have participated in the first round and your willpower is good enough. You don't need to continue. Later, you will not be the only one who will lose face, but the whole Lu families." On the main stage, the Great Elder also spoke. "Lu Yunxiong, as the Great Elder, you repeatedly obstructed Junior from taking the test. I think you are the one who will lose face." Lu Ming retorted. "Lu Ming, how dare you talk to me like this? You are offending your superior." The first elder's embarrassment turned into anger as he berated loudly. However, Lu Ming turned around and didn't bother to look at him. Then, Lu Ming pressed his hand on the altar and injected true qi. Above the altar, a light shone and a star appeared. Lu Ming, this trash. Did he cultivate true qi? He can actually form a star? Lu Chuan's eyes widened in surprise. Lu Yao's beautiful eyes flickered. She was also surprised. "This guy defeated me with a punch last time. I am afraid he is not that simple." Lu Bing, who was beside Lu Chuan, looked at him seriously. Just then, the light shone again on the altar and another star appeared. However, this was only the beginning. Following that, more and more stars began to condense on the altar. 2, 3, 8, 9 soon, 9 stars appeared above the altar. How can this be? Isn't Lu Ming a trash with blocked meridians? How can he cultivate true qi? Gosh, he can really cultivate true qi and he has 9 stars. 9 stars is already very shocking. Other than Lu Yao, no one in the Lu family has the potential to cultivate true qi. On the stage, Lu Yao's eyes narrowed. She was in disbelief. Lu Ming's bloodline was taken away by her. How could he cultivate true qi and have the potential to cultivate true qi? She couldn't figure it out. "Lu Yao, can't you figure it out? Speaking of which, it is all thanks to you," Lu Ming said to Lu Yao. "It is just 9 stars. It is nothing in front of a real genius." Lu Yao calmed down quickly and said disdainfully, "Is that so? What about this?" Chapter 18. The 9 stars above the altar gathered together, and a rainbow shot up into the sky. Rainbow piercing the sun. Rainbow piercing the sun appeared again. Involuntarily, everyone on the scene stood up one by one. Ming. In the crowd, Li Ping and Chiu Autumn Moon clenched their fists and trembled with tears in their eyes. Previously, she only knew that Lu Ming could cultivate true qi, but she never expected that Lu Ming had such great potential. All of a sudden, she felt that all the hardships she had suffered over the years had not been in vain. All the tiredness she had endured had not been in vain. Impossible. This is impossible. On the main stage, the first elder exclaimed, "How could this be?" On the other side, Li Fu's eyes almost popped out. "This is impossible? Then let's continue." Lu Ming smiled faintly. Buzz. Buzz. The altar shook twice, and 2 rainbows shot up into the sky. At the same time, light spots lit up on Lu Ming's body one after another. 81, 90, 99, and finally 108. Silence. Complete silence. The crowd suddenly quieted down. Even the sound of breathing could not be heard. It was as if everyone had forgotten to breathe at this moment. There was only a gentle breeze that brought a little sound. Everyone stared at Lu Ming in a daze. Their eyes almost popped out of their sockets and their mouths were so wide open that a duck egg could be stuffed in. 3 rainbows meant that all 108 meridians had been opened. This meant that Lu Ming had opened 3 divine meridians. The difference between opening 2 divine meridians and opening 3 divine meridians was only 1 divine meridians. However, The difference between the two was like heaven and earth. 3 divine meridians meant perfection. In the Burning Sun Empire, although not many people could open 2 divine meridians in each generation, there were always some. However, there were very few people who could open 3 divine meridians. Sometimes, there might not even be one in a generation. At this moment, Lu Yao's 2 divine meridians paled in comparison to Lu Ming's 3 sky meridians. One was perfection, and the other was imperfection. There was no comparison. Yintian, did you see that? Our Ming, has finally grown up. Li Ping looked at Lu Ming's tenacious figure as tears streamed down her face. The sleeping lion has awakened. A genius has been born, Mulan said softly. At the side, Lu Qian opened her eyes wide. At this moment, she suddenly realized why Mulan stopped her from inviting Lu Yao. It turned out that it was because of this person, Lu Ming. On the main stage, the 7 core elders were trembling as they looked at Lu Ming. Young master, the young master has actually opened 3 divine veins. The heavens have eyes. One of the white-haired core elders even shed tears. No, this is impossible. How can he open 3 divine veins without a bloodline? The great elder roared, unable to accept this reality. Impossible. Lu Ming, impossible. You trash, how is this possible? Lu Yao couldn't bear it anymore and screamed. Lu Ming, do you see it now? The difference between you and me is like heaven and earth. We will never cross paths. Do you still have the courage to challenge me now? This was what she said to Lu Ming just now. But now it was so funny. It was like 2 tight slaps on her face. Nothing is impossible. Lu Yao, let me tell you. Your so-called talent, your so-called reliance, is just a joke in my eyes. Lu Ming looked at Lu Yao. This woman that he once loved deeply had no feelings for her now. Lu Ming, what are you so proud of? You're just trash who can't awaken your bloodline. I don't know what kind of opportunity you had to open 3 divine veins, but it's a fact that you can't awaken your bloodline. Ah! Lu Yao screamed hysterically. Lu Yao, your current appearance truly resembles that of a shrew cursing on the streets. Right now, I formally challenge you to a duel. If you lose, you can scram out of the Lu clan. The 108 light spots on Lu Ming's body were extremely dazzling. His eyes were shining with cold battle intent. His voice resounded throughout the area. Lu Ming's willpower test and pulse examination had shocked everyone. Now he wanted to challenge Lu Yao, which shocked everyone once again. Lu Yao, do you dare to fight with me? Lu Ming stared at Lu Yao with bright eyes. All right, Lu Ming, I'll fight with you. I want everyone to understand that you were merely lucky and had a fortuitous encounter that allowed you to unlock 3 divine meridians. However, a martial artist's combat skills and martial arts techniques depend on talent and comprehension. I'll show you your true colors now and let everyone know that you're still a good-for-nothing in front of me. Lu Yao seemed to have calmed down and regained her confidence. So what if you have a strong willpower? So what if you've opened 3 divine veins? A martial artist's strength ultimately depended on their fighting strength. She wanted to completely trample on Lu Ming's dignity with her fighting strength and make him unable to recover from this setback. The surrounding crowd's eyes flickered thoughtfully. This was also the reason why the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's Great Sex didn't invite Lu Ming after he had shown great talent in the first 2 tests. Firstly, Lu Ming's bloodline couldn't be awakened. Secondly, opening the meridians could indeed rely on external forces, but it couldn't decide everything. Therefore, in their hearts, Lu Yao was naturally more important. You're talking so much nonsense. Be careful that you don't end up slapping your own face. Lu Ming looked at Lu Yao and replied indifferently. Lu Ming, don't be so arrogant. My sister doesn't need to deal with you. I'll teach you a lesson. On the platform, Lu Chuan strode forward and stood in front of Lu Ming. Lu Ming sneered and said, Lu Chuan, even if you didn't look for me, I would have looked for you. Now I'll deal with you first. It's the same. Ha ha ha, Lu Ming, you're really arrogant now. But let me tell you, fighting on the platform isn't child's play. There will be blood. If I accidentally cripple you or even kill you, don't blame me then. Lu Chuan sneered and looked at Lu Yunfeng in the main seat. Chuan, you're right. Fighting isn't child's play. Since we're going to fight, There will naturally be injuries. It's inevitable. Go ahead. The first elder said loudly with a cold light in his eyes. The 7 core elders looked at each other and nodded. They didn't object. Seeing this, Lu Yunfeng announced, "All right, since the second round is over, let's enter the third round. Try your best, but don't harm your lives." Lu Chuan smiled proudly and said, "Lu Ming, it's too late for you to regret now." Lu Ming smiled meaningfully and said, "Is that so? Lu Ming, how many moves do you think you can take from me? 1 move or 2? Lu Chuan mocked. 1 move. Lu Ming said indifferently. "Ha ha ha, you know your limits. You know you can only take 1 move from me." Lu Chuan laughed. "No, I mean I'll defeat you in 1 move." Lu Ming said indifferently. Defeat Lu Chuan in 1 move. The audience was in an uproar. They looked at Lu Ming as if he was crazy. 1 move. Lu Ming said he could defeat Lu Chuan in 1 move. Was he crazy? One must know that Lu Chuan had awakened a rank 2 bloodline, and had even reached the 3rd rank of the martial warrior realm. Even if Lu Ming had opened 3 divine veins, he wouldn't be Lu Chuan's opponent, let alone in 1 move. Defeat me in 1 move? Lu Bing's face darkened and his eyes flashed with killing intent. He said, "Lu Ming, if I don't cripple you today, my name isn't Lu Chuan." Boom. Lu Chuan's aura erupted and his body shone with light. The aura of a 3rd-grade martial warrior was undoubtedly revealed. "Lu Ming die." Lu Chuan hollered and took the initiative to attack. He punched Lu Ming. He wanted to cripple Lu Ming in 1 move. Chapter 19. Just as Lu Bing was about to close in on Lu Ming took a step forward. The floor rumbled as a powerful aura burst out from Lu Ming's body. Boom. Lu Ming also threw out a punch, but this punch was faster than Lu Chuan's. It was as fast as lightning. Bang. Lu Ming's fist landed squarely on Lu Chuan's dantian, and a violent force gushed out. Bang. Lu Bing was instantly sent flying 4 to 5 meters away. He landed heavily on the ground, and blood spurted out from his mouth. Ah. My dantian, my cultivation. Lu Ming, you actually crippled my cultivation. Following that, Lu Chuan let out a blood-curdling scream. Silence. The scene was silent, and everyone's gaze was fixed on this moment. Lu Ming crippled Lu Chuan in 1 move? Unbelievable. Boom. On the main seat, the first elder suddenly stood up, and a cold murderous aura burst out. He stared at Lu Ming with a ferocious expression and roared. "Lu Ming, you bastard, what did you do? What did you do? How dare you cripple Chuan Er's cultivation? I'm going to grind your bones to dust." After saying that, the first elder jumped down from the main seat, and pounced on Lu Ming like a cannonball. "Lu Yunxiong, what are you trying to do?" On the stage, Lu Yunfeng's eyes turned cold. He threw out a palm and exchanged a blow with the first elder. Lu Yunfeng's body trembled, and he retreated 5 steps. On the other hand, the first elder only retreated 3 steps. "Lu Yunfeng, you dare to stop me?" The first elder roared. "Lu Yunxiong, this is the clan meeting. What are you trying to do? Are you going against the clan rules?" Lu Yunfeng did not back down. The first elder and second elder had always been at odds. The conflict between the 2 factions had been going on for a long time. Lu Yunfeng naturally wouldn't let the first elder have his way so easily. "Lu Yunxiong, stand down." On the main seat, a core elder shouted. The first elder's face was incomparably ferocious as he said to the core elders, "Elders, look. Lu Ming is so vicious. He actually crippled Chuan Er's cultivation. We must punish him severely." "Severe punishment? Lu Yunxiong, are you here to be funny?" Lu Ming sneered and said, "Just now, it was Lu Chuan who wanted to cripple my cultivation first. Don't tell me I can't fight back? Moreover, injuries are inevitable in a martial arts competition. You said it yourself. What the fuck are you talking about? Little bastard. What did you say?" The great elder was so angry that the muscles on his face were trembling. "You what? Hurry up and take your useless son away." Lu Ming berated. Too savage, too overbearing. Lu Ming actually dared to berate the first elder in front of so many people. He was simply audacious. But this was something he did on purpose. He knew that with so many people watching, the core elders of the elder compound would definitely not allow the first elder to act recklessly. Moreover, his current performance had most likely caught the attention of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's emissaries. Even if the first elder really wanted to do something to him, the emissaries of the other compounds might not agree. Therefore, Lu Ming was unscrupulous. The first elder was so angry that he almost vomited blood. In the end, he had no choice but to take the crippled Lu Chuan down the platform. "Little bastard, after the clan meeting, I'll tear you and your mother into pieces." The first elder roared in his heart, not hiding the murderous intent in his eyes. Lu Ming turned around and looked at Lu Yao. He said indifferently, "Now it's your turn." Lu Yao frowned and did not say anything, but her eyes were extremely gloomy. Lu Ming's combat strength was beyond her expectations. She suddenly had a feeling that today's matter was somewhat out of her control. The two of them looked at each other, and a battle was about to break out. Around the martial arts practice field, everyone's eyes were fixed on the two people on the platform. Lu Yao had awakened a level 5 bloodline, and opened 2 divine veins at the age of 15. The Mystic Essence Sword Sect's 4 compounds had come for her. She had too many halos on her. It was not an exaggeration to say that she was the first in the history of Firestorm City. As for Lu Ming, he used to be the trash of the Lu clan, but today he had repeatedly shocked everyone. Testing his will, climbing the steps of flames as if he was taking a stroll in the park, and even opening 3 divine veins. It could be said that this was the first time in the history of Firestorm City. Just a moment ago, he had defeated Lu Chuan in one move, which shocked everyone. The two of them were finally going to fight. Who would win? Everyone stared at them without blinking, including the emissaries of the 4 compounds and the 7 core elders of the Lu clan. The first elder's eyes were wide open, and murderous intent flickered in his eyes. Whoosh! On the platform, Lu Yao made the first move. Her figure moved like a graceful swan as she rushed towards Lu Ming. Her jade-like palm emitted a fiery red light as she struck towards Lu Ming. Boom! Lu Ming twisted his waist and punched out with the flame dragon fist. Bang! The fist and the palm collided, and a powerful force shot out in all directions. Lu Ming and Lu Yao's bodies trembled as they took 3 steps back. They were evenly matched in the first move. 4th layer martial warrior. It seems that the Duanmu clan has given Lu Yao a lot of resources in the past 2 months. As soon as they exchanged blows, Lu Ming sensed Lu Yao's cultivation. 4th layer martial warrior. In just 2 months, Lu Yao's cultivation had soared to the 4th layer martial warrior. In addition to her 5th level bloodline talent, the resources given by the Duanmu clan were definitely not small. But at this moment, Lu Yao was even more shocked because she realized that Lu Ming's cultivation was at the 3rd layer martial warrior. In just 2 months, Lu Ming went from a trash who couldn't condense his true chi to the 3rd layer martial warrior. It was unbelievable. No, I want to crush him. Lu Yao roared in her heart. With a clang, she unsheathed her sword. The sword turned into a ray of light and pierced toward Lu Ming. Lu clan's low-grade yellow-level martial technique, startling rainbow sword art. Lu Yao, it's a pity that you haven't mastered it yet. Lu Ming's indifferent voice rang out. He took a step forward and dodged Lu Yao's sword. Then he punched out again. The fist whistled and went straight for Lu Yao's face. Lu Yao had no choice but to turn around and defend. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming punched out continuously, displaying the full potential of the flame dragon fist. Lu Ming's true chi was twice as strong and condensed as an ordinary true chi. When he used the flame dragon fist, there was an indestructible aura. In the first move, Lu Ming only used 50% of his strength. But now it was 100%. For a moment, Lu Yao was forced to retreat. Lu Yao, is this all you've got? I'm really disappointed. Didn't you just say that you want me to show my true form first? So it turns out that you were just talking about it? Show me your true strength. You want to take over the Lu clan with such strength? Do you think you're worthy? Lu Ming's eyes were like lightning. His cold voice spread across the entire area, causing the crowd to boil. Lu Yao, the genius, was actually forced to retreat by Lu Ming. She was completely at a disadvantage. If they didn't see it with their own eyes, it would be hard to believe. Lu Yao bit her lips. Her eyes became colder and colder. She shouted, Lu Ming, I'll show you my true strength. Buzz. Behind Lu Yao, a bright red light shone. Then, with a soft cry, a fiery red skylark appeared. On top of the skylark, there were 5 blood-red chakras. This was its bloodline, a level 5 bloodline. Then, the skylark landed on Lu Yao's body and merged with her. Lu Yao's aura suddenly skyrocketed. Bloodline eruption was an application of bloodline. It could greatly increase a martial artist's strength. The higher the bloodline grade, the greater the increase. A level 5 bloodline could increase one's strength by 50%. Whoosh! Lu Yao moved like a red lightning bolt and charged towards Lu Ming. Her sword light was aimed at Lu Ming's vital points. Then let's see whose sword technique is better. Lu Ming smiled calmly and unsheathed the obsidian sword on his back. The obsidian sword turned into a ray of light and slashed towards Lu Yao. Flowing light sword technique. Clang. The 2 swords clashed and Lu Yao's sword aura was scattered. Whoosh! Whoosh! Lu Ming's continuous sword gleams shrouded Lu Yao's entire body. Lu Yao could only try her best to defend. She was completely suppressed. Although Lu Yao's cultivation was higher than Lu Ming, and she had even activated her bloodline, she was still completely suppressed by Lu Ming in terms of strength. 3 divine veins and the true chi of the true dragon of battle had completely suppressed Lu Yao. After more than 10 moves, whoosh! Lu Ming's sword light pierced through like lightning and went straight for Lu Yao's throat. Lu Yao's face was pale and she couldn't dodge at all. At this moment, everyone's heart was in their mouth. Lu Yao, the genius of a generation, was going to fall? Whoosh! Suddenly Lu Ming stopped. The cold tip of his sword was pressed against Lu Yao's throat. The cold tip of the sword and Lu Ming's cold killing intent made Lu Yao's eyes flash with fear. At this moment, Lu Yao's mind went blank. She knew that she had lost. Lu Yao lost. Lu Ming won completely. This is too shocking. I really didn't expect this. We've been cheated. We've all been cheated by the Lu family. If anyone dares to say that Lu Ming is trash in the future, I'll beat them up. Chapter 20. There was an uproar in the crowd. No one would have thought that Lu Ming, who was rumored to be a good-for-nothing in the Lu family, would defeat Lu Yao, the favored daughter of the heavens, in such a manner. Impossible. The great elder roared in disbelief. Initially, he thought that Lu Yao would be able to win this battle easily and take control of the Lu family. Never in his wildest dreams did he expect that this piece of trash, whose bloodline had been stolen by them 2 months ago, would actually be so powerful that she could defeat Lu Yao with ease. How could this be? Duan Muqing was also in disbelief. Duan Muqing, as long as one is a genius, nothing is impossible. Lu Ming has unlocked 3 divine meridians at such a young age. He even defeated Lu Yao, who was a 4th-level martial warrior, and had unleashed his bloodline power. He is definitely a rare genius. Gaosher said. That's right. Whether it's willpower, pulse examination, or martial arts, Lu Ming completely crushed Lu Yao in every aspect. Since Lu Yao has a marriage alliance with your White Tiger Hall, I won't fight with you. This Lu Ming, my Azure Dragon Hall wants him. Tai Zhong's eyes sparkled. Tai Zhong, what do you mean? What do you mean your Azure Dragon Hall wants him? Lu Ming, my Black Tortoise School wants him. Gaosher glared at Tai Zhong before turning to Lu Ming and saying, Lu Ming, my Black Tortoise School sincerely welcomes your joining. I promise that as long as you join the Black Tortoise School, you can choose 2 Earth-level cultivation techniques and martial skills. Moreover, the upper echelons of the school will definitely accept you as a disciple and personally teach you. Lu Ming, my Azure Dragon Hall also welcomes you. As long as you join my Azure Dragon Hall, not only will you be able to choose Earth-level cultivation techniques and martial skills, you will also be able to enter the important secret cultivation grounds to cultivate. Tai Zhong threw out another bomb. The words of the 2 messengers spread throughout the crowd and caused another uproar. The 2 great halls had actually given up on Lu Yao and turned to fight for Lu Ming. Moreover, the conditions they offered were even higher than what they had offered Lu Yao. Obviously, the messengers of the 2 great halls valued Lu Ming more. Although Lu Ming could not awaken his bloodline, it did not mean that he could not awaken it in the Mystic Essence Sword sect. The Mystic Essence Sword sect had a long history and countless secret techniques. It wasn't as if there weren't any secret techniques that could allow one to awaken again. Lu Ming hadn't even awakened his bloodline, yet he already had such talent. Once he really awakened his bloodline, how high would his talent be? Moreover, although the bloodline was extremely important to a martial artist, it was not the only thing. In history, there had been martial artists who could not awaken their bloodline, but had reached the peak of martial arts and become peerless experts. Therefore, even if Lu Ming really could not awaken his bloodline, his future achievements would not be low. The envoys of the two great academies were burning with passion. Duan Muqing's eyes flickered with annoyance. Unfortunately, the White Tiger sect would surely stand on Lu Yao's side. There was no way he would be able to marry Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming did not reply to the envoys from the two colleges. Instead, he looked at Lu Yao indifferently and said, "Lu Yao, I used to treat you and Lu Yunxiong as my family. I had absolute trust in both of you. However, in your hearts, I'm just a useless person with useful value. Not only that, but you also want to seize the position of the patriarch of the Lu clan. 2 months ago, you said that in this world everything depends on strength. Whoever is stronger will have the right to speak. The weak will only be trampled on. Now, I'll return those words to you. You are just a weakling in front of me. You are not worthy to be my opponent, Lu Ming." Lu Ming's clear voice echoed throughout the hall. Every word that Lu Ming said was very clear. It was like a slap on Lu Yao's face. It was extremely loud and clear. "Haha, Lu Ming, don't be so arrogant here. Do you really think you can rise? I have the Duanmu clan behind me. What do you have to compete with me? Although I've lost temporarily in a year, no, in half a year, I will surpass you and completely trample you under my feet." Lu Yao screamed hysterically. Because of her anger, her face was distorted. Being defeated, surpassed, and even looked down on by Lu Ming, a piece of trash that she had never taken seriously, she almost went crazy. "Lu Ming, put away your sword and get out of the fighting stage." The first elder roared. "Shut up, bitch. And Lu Yunxiong, what right do you have to speak?" Lu Ming's eyes were like lightning. He shouted with a murderous aura. With a shake of his sword, a shallow cut appeared on Lu Yao's neck, causing her face to turn pale. "How dare you? Lu Yao is the fiancé of the White Tiger clan's genius, Duan Mulin. You dare to hurt her? You're courting death." Duan Muqing shouted. However, Lu Ming did not even look at him. Instead, he looked at the 7 core elders. 7 core elders? Do you know why I can't awaken my bloodline? Lu Ming said. Why can't you awaken your bloodline? Many people were stunned. What other reason could there be for not awakening his bloodline? Wasn't it because of his own body? Could there be some other inside story? Lu Ming, do you think there's some inside story? The oldest core elder among the 7 core elders said. Lu Ming, don't talk nonsense. Before Lu Ming could say anything, the first elder shouted. Lu Yunxiong, shut your mouth. The oldest core elder shouted loudly. The first elder closed his mouth with an ugly expression. That's because this heaven's chosen daughter, and this first elder pretended to be good to me. Then they made me eat Yama pollen for 3 years to nourish my bloodline. That's why I can't awaken my bloodline. Then after I failed to awaken my bloodline, they seized the opportunity to take my bloodline and merge it with their own. Otherwise, Lu Yao, how could you have awakened your bloodline? How could you have awakened it? Lu Ming's voice was very calm as he spoke the truth. His words caused a huge commotion. Everyone was shocked and the scene was in an uproar. Many people knew that Lu Ming had once been tested by a pulse detector. It was very likely that he had inherited his father's bloodline and could awaken his bloodline. However, it was indeed strange that he could not awaken his bloodline. At this moment, when Lu Ming said it, it made some sense. Beast, how dare you treat Ming-er like this? The first to react was Li Ping. She was so angry that her body was trembling. Her eyes were red as she stared at the first elder and Lu Yao. Following that, tears flowed down her cheeks. She did not expect that Lu Ming's injury 2 months ago was caused by his bloodline being taken away. How painful would it be to have one's bloodline taken away? Is this true? The 7 core elders' faces darkened. Anger was brewing in their eyes. Lu Ming, you're slandering us. You're the useless one, but you're pushing all the blame on us. You're despicable and shameless. 7 core elders, Lu Ming's character is too bad. I suggest that we chase him out of the Lu family. The first elder roared. His eyes were shining with a cold light. That's right, Lu Ming. Do you think anyone will believe your nonsense? Lu Yao also said coldly. Hee, we'll know whether it's true after the test. Lu Yao, do you dare to test it? Lu Ming stared at Lu Yao with bright eyes. Lu Yao's face turned pale. Chapter 21. At this moment, everyone's gazes were on the first elder and Lu Yao. Lu Ming was right. They had used their blood to nourish their meridians for 3 years, and then absorbed Lu Ming's bloodline. Lu Ming, who the hell do you think you are? Do you think we'll do it just because you say so? The first elder was still unwilling to give up. But the others weren't fools. How could they not guess from Lu Yao and the first elder's expressions? What Lu Ming said was most likely the truth. At this moment, the way everyone looked at Lu Yao and the first elder changed. Using blood to nourish one's meridians, and then taking it away was definitely a great taboo in the martial world. It was too despicable and shameless. Lu Yunxiong. At this moment, the 7 core elders looked at the first elder with disappointment in their eyes. The oldest core elder was especially furious. He shouted, Lu Yunxiong, as the Lu clan's grand elder, how can you do such a despicable thing? How can you face our ancestors? If you continue to be the Lu clan's grand elder in the future, how will you be able to convince everyone? Today, the elder hall announces that Lu Yunxiong will be removed from his position as the first elder. Furthermore, Lu Yao will also be removed from her position as the Lu family's patriarch. What? You want to remove me from my position as the first elder? You actually want to remove me from my position because of that little bastard Lu Ming? Remember, Yao has already married the Duanmu family. The first elder roared, bringing up the Duanmu family. Duanmu Qing's expression was also very ugly. He looked at the 7 core elders and said, you should consider this carefully. Lu Yao and my Duanmu family are connected by marriage. Letting her become the Lu family's patriarch is a great honor for your Lu family. In the future, your Lu family might become even more prosperous. Doing this now is just digging your own grave. Duanmu Qing's words caused the expressions of the 7 core elders and the rest of the Lu family to change. They could ignore Lu Yao and the first elder, but they couldn't ignore the Duanmu family behind Lu Yao. The Duanmu family was too strong. It would be easy for the mystic origin sword sect to destroy the Lu family. However, under such circumstances, if Lu Yao were to take over the position of the head of the family, and even help Lu Yao deal with Lu Ming, then the Lu family would really become the laughingstock of Windy Fire City, and even many cities in the vicinity. How should he choose? Pa. Suddenly Mulan stood up, clapped her hands and said, Duanmu Qing, how awe-inspiring. Do you think you can represent the Duanmu clan? Or perhaps, the Duanmu clan could represent the Mystic Essence Sword sect? Don't try to intimidate others. Let me tell you, I Mulans have the Lu family under my protection. I want to see what ability your Duanmu family has. Mulans, are you sure you want to be a busybody? Duanmu Qing's expression changed as he asked. I'm definitely going to get involved. Mulans coldly shouted. She was extremely domineering. Senior Duanmu. Duanmu Qing was about to say something when Lu Yao called out to him. Senior Duanmu. Lu Yao is willing to join the White Tiger sect. There's no need for a mere Lu clan. Duanmu Qing's eyes flickered as he said with a smile. That's right, there's no need for a mere Lu clan. With Lady Lu Yao's talent, you will surely set your sights on the entire Blazing Sun Empire in the future, or even step onto a bigger stage. Lu Yao nodded, before she turned to Lu Ming and said in an icy tone, Lu Ming, kill me today if you dare. Otherwise, I'll return the humiliation you've given me today tenfold. The humiliation I've given you? Lu Ming laughed and said, how ridiculous. You only have yourself to blame for what happened today. If you didn't take away my bloodline, would this have happened? Lu Yao, I won't kill you. I'll let you verify your words with your own eyes. There's an insurmountable gap between you and me. Besides, one day, I'll let you witness with your own eyes that I'll crush your so-called peerless genius Duan Mulin under my feet. Now you can leave." Lu Ming sheathed his sword. His confident and determined voice echoed throughout the place. "Lu Ming, there's still a long way to go. Just you wait. Father, you and big brother will follow me to the Mystic Essence Sword sect." Lu Yao's icy voice resounded. Duan Muqing's expression also turned cold as he looked at Lu Ming and said, "Lu Ming, you can't even compare to Duan Mulin's finger. I hope you won't join the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Otherwise, you'll realize how stupid and ignorant your words today are. Let's go." Roar. The red flaming tiger roared. Lu Yao and the first elder brought Lu Chuan and followed Duan Muqing, and the others on the red flaming tiger. They left in a sorry state, not even bothering to pack their things. As Lu Yao and the others left, the day's events came to an end. Although the other youths of the Lu clan had yet to start their duels, no one was paying attention to them. Today's events were full of twists and turns. It was out of everyone's expectations. Originally, most people thought that the main character of today's event would be Lu Yao. She would use the name of a genius to ascend to the position of the Lu clan's patriarch with her peerless talent. However, all of this had changed drastically because of one person. He was Lu Ming. He was the main character of today's event. "Good Lu Ming. You're domineering and confident enough. How about it? Join my Vermilion Bird courtyard. In the future, you'll be able to defeat that so-called genius Duan Mulin." Mulins clapped her hands. She didn't hide her admiration for Lu Ming at all. Then she added, "However, I won't agree to any of your conditions. A cultivator has to rely on himself to obtain everything." Everyone was speechless. Who would invite someone like that? How could she invite someone like that? However, Lu Ming's actions made them even more dumbfounded. He nodded and said, "Hall Master Mu, I agree to join the Vermilion Bird courtyard." The reason why he agreed to join Mulins was mainly to thank her for her help. Moreover, he was going to join a powerful sect to cultivate anyway. Only then would he have more resources. The Mystic Essence Sword sect gathered the geniuses of the 2,000 cities in the eastern part of the Blazing Sun Empire. Only by competing with the other geniuses on such a vast stage could Lu Ming go further on the path of martial arts. He would never achieve great things if he was content with staying in a small corner. Good. Mulins was overjoyed. Others thought that Lu Ming didn't have a bloodline, but she had long sensed that Lu Ming had a bloodline power in him. If such a genius joined the Vermilion Bird courtyard, perhaps it would bring about a change in the Vermilion Bird courtyard? "Lu Ming, the only thing I can promise you is that after you join the Mystic Essence Sword sect, the elders of the Duanmu family won't dare to openly attack you. However, the younger generation of the Duanmu family will have to rely on you." Then Mulins waved her hand and a jade token flew to Lu Ming. She said, "Lu Ming, 2 months later, take this jade token and go to the Mystic Essence Sword sect's Vermilion Bird courtyard. Then, you can join the Vermilion Bird courtyard directly." On the jade token, a lifelike vermilion bird was engraved. "Thank you, Hall Master Mu." Lu Ming clasped his fists and put away the jade token. It was enough. As long as the elders of the Duanmu family didn't attack him, it was enough. If he couldn't even pass the test of the younger generation of the Duanmu family, then what was the point of cultivating martial arts? "Hee Lu Ming, then I'll wait for you at the Mystic Essence Sword sect." Mulin smiled coquettishly. Then, she got up and left the Lu family's martial arts practice field. "Lu Ming, welcome to the Mystic Essence Sword sect. I hope you'll become a powerhouse in the future." Gao Shi and Taizhong both got up and congratulated Lu Ming. "Thank you, seniors. I'm very sorry that I didn't choose the Azure Dragon courtyard or the Black Tortoise courtyard today." Lu Ming bowed. "Haha, it's okay." Gao Shi laughed. Lu Ming's attitude made the two of them very happy. This Lu Ming is not only talented, but he's also humble and upright. He'll definitely become a great person in the future. Both of them thought so in their hearts. "Lu Ming, we'll meet again at the Mystic Essence Sword sect." Lu Qian laughed. Then Gao Shi, Taizhong, and Lu Qian left with their people. They were no longer in the mood to look at the other young people of the Lu family. After the emissaries left, The people of the Lu family were no longer in the mood. The ceremony ended hastily. However, everything that happened today was destined to shake the entire Fiery Wind City. Lu Ming's name would also set off a storm in Fiery Wind City. Chapter 22. The next day, Lu Ming, Li Ping, and Autumn Moon moved back to the main residence. Standing in front of the main residence, Lu Ming had a lot of thoughts. All of this was because of the increase in his strength. If he was still the trash whose bloodline was stolen, he wouldn't even be able to save his own life, let alone move back to the main residence. As for Li Ping and Autumn Moon, they wouldn't have a good life in the future. But because of his rise, everything changed. Not only did he destroy Lu Yunxiong and Lu Yao's plans, but he also took back the main residence. Li Ping's life in the future was also guaranteed. Lu Ming was the first successor of the Lu family. As long as he was willing, he could take over the position of patriarch at any time. But this was far from enough. Everything was just the beginning. Lu Ming knew that there was an even greater challenge waiting for him in the Mystic Essence Sword sect. He couldn't slack off at all. Ming, let's go in. The room has been tidied up. Li Ping walked out with a sword in her hand and smiled. The elders' compound sent 4 young maids over to serve Li Ping and Lu Ming. Therefore, very soon, Lu Yao and the rest's belongings were cleared out of the main mansion. Ming, now that you've made progress in the martial Dao, take this spiritual weapon that your father sent back. Li Ping handed the sword in her hand to Lu Ming. This sword had been taken by Lu Chuan previously, but now it was back in their hands. Lu Ming nodded and took the sword. He walked in with Li Ping. After returning to the room, Lu Ming began to cultivate. A few days ago, he used the spiritual essence pill to raise his cultivation from the peak of martial warrior realm to the early stage of martial warrior realm. His foundation was unavoidably unstable, and he needed to consolidate it. After cultivating the true dragon art for a few hours, Lu Ming entered the Temple of Paragon and began to cultivate his martial arts techniques. In the blink of an eye, 7 days passed. One day, Lu Ming was practicing his martial arts in the Temple of Paragon when he sensed some movement outside. He went out of the Temple of Paragon. As soon as he came out, he heard Autumn Moon's voice. "Young master, Lu Bing is here to see you." Lu Bing? Lu Ming was stunned. He opened the door and walked out. Autumn Moon nodded and said, "Young master, do you want to meet him?" Lu Ming smiled and said, "Of course, why wouldn't I?" When he came to the living room, he saw Lu Bing pacing back and forth uneasily. Upon seeing Lu Ming, Lu Bing smiled and said, "Young Master Ming, you're finally here." Noticing the change in the way Lu Bing addressed him, Lu Ming smiled faintly. He casually sat down at the head of the table and said, "What business do you have with me?" Lu Bing suddenly cupped his fists towards Lu Ming and said, "Young Master Ming, I came here today to apologize to you. In the past, I had eyes but failed to see. I didn't know young Master Ming's talent and offended you. I hope you won't take it to heart." "Lu Bing, was it the 5th elder who asked you to come?" Lu Ming said. Lu Bing smiled and said, "Yes, it was my father who asked me to come, but it was also my own idea. Young Master Ming, here are 5,000 taels of silver. I hope you can accept it." Lu Bing took out a stack of silver and handed it to Lu Ming. "All right, Autumn Moon, help me accept it." Lu Ming smiled. To be honest, Lu Bing didn't take it to heart. Since the other party gave him silver as an apology, why wouldn't he accept it? Autumn Moon stepped forward and took the silver. Her small face was flushed with excitement. She had never seen so many silver. Although Lu Bing was extremely pained, he still squeezed out a smile and said, "Thank you, young Master Ming. Then I'll take my leave." "Young Master, the head of the Li family is here to see you." As soon as Lu Bing left, another maid came to report. "The head of the Li family, Li Fu." Lu Ming frowned. He had a very bad impression of this Li Fu. "Have you informed Madam?" Lu Ming asked. The maid said, "Yes, I have." At this time, Li Ping walked over and said, "Ming, your uncle is here. Let's meet him." Lu Ming nodded, and then ordered the maid to bring Li Fu in. "Haha, little sister Ming, I'm here to see you." As soon as he came in, Li Fu laughed. His face was full of smiles. Those who didn't know would think that his relationship with Lu Ming was very good, very close. Big brother, Li Ping called out. But Lu Ming had a cold smile on his face. He sat casually and said, Head of the Li family, what brings you to the Lu family today? Don't tell me you're here to see a trash like me? Ahem. Li Fu coughed a few times. His old face was slightly red. He laughed dryly and said, Ming-er is such a genius, how can he be trash? If someone says that again, I'll break their legs. Ming-er, your uncle was old and muddle-headed. That's why I listened to other people's rumors. I hope you don't take it to heart. Lu Ming suddenly realized that another one had come to apologize. This time, Lu Ming's performance was indeed very shocking. Although he had offended the Duanmu family, Lu Ming had won the favor of Mulans of the Elixir Hall. His future achievements were uncertain. Moreover, at least now, Lu Ming was definitely the successor of the Lu family. Therefore Lu Bing Li Fu, and those who had offended him before could not sit still, and came to reconcile and apologize. In the world of martial arts, the strong were respected. This was vividly reflected in this moment. Big brother, don't worry. Ming, I won't take it to heart. Li Ping said with a happy smile on her face. Li Fu took out a jade bottle and said, That's good. Little sister, I've prepared 10 qi gathering pills this time. It's just a small token of my appreciation. Please accept it. Qi gathering pills, lower grade level 2 pills, cost 2,000 silver taels each. 10 pills would be 20,000 silver taels. It seemed that Li Fu had really put in a lot of money this time. 20,000 silver taels was equivalent to half a year's income of the Li family. The biggest family in Firestorm City, the Lu family, only had a yearly income of 200,000 silver taels. Thank you very much. Lu Ming received it directly. Originally, Lu Ming did not want to bother with Li Fu. However, the Li family was Li Ping's family after all. Lu Ming could see that Li Ping still cared about the Li family's attitude. Li Ping was obviously very happy that Li Fu came to apologize. Therefore, for Li Ping's sake, Lu Ming had to pretend. It would be a waste not to accept these 10 qi gathering pills. Seeing that Lu Ming accepted it, Li Fu was finally relieved. Although 20,000 silver taels made his heart ache, it was still an investment. If Lu Ming really rose in the future, his Li family would not be too sad. If he had known that Lu Ming had such talent, he would not have offended Lu Ming like that. After chatting for a while, Li Fu said goodbye and left. Autumn Moon, how many meridians have you opened? After Li Fu left, Lu Ming quickly asked Autumn Moon. Li Ping also looked at Autumn Moon curiously. Young master, madam, I opened 8 meridians yesterday. Autumn Moon replied. What? Lu Ming and Li Ping were shocked. They stared at Autumn Moon with their mouths agape. The first few meridians were relatively easy to open, but the later meridians were more difficult. In just over 10 days, Autumn Moon had opened 8 meridians. The key was that he was practicing the qi gathering technique, a basic cultivation technique. Moreover, he did not take any pills. This kind of talent was too amazing. Could it be that Autumn Moon can open meridians without relying on his bloodline? Lu Ming could not help but think so. Mother, Autumn Moon, don't tell anyone about this for now, Lu Ming said to Li Ping and Autumn Moon. Chapter 23. The next day, Lu Ming went to the Lu family's library and chose a low-grade yellow rank skill, Cloud Jade Technique, for Autumn Moon. It wasn't that Lu Ming was stingy and couldn't bear to give the True Dragon of Battle Technique to Autumn Moon. It was just that the True Dragon of Battle Technique was too domineering and wasn't suitable for Autumn Moon. If the skill wasn't suitable, it wouldn't be useful no matter how high grade it was. Sometimes it would even backfire. Cloud Jade Technique was soft but firm. It was suitable for Autumn Moon. In addition, Lu Ming also chose a book for Chiao Yu called the Jinghong Swordplay, which was a low-grade yellow-level martial technique. Now no one in the Lu family would say a word about which cultivation method or martial technique Lu Ming wanted to choose. After choosing a skill, Lu Ming went to the Spiritual Medicine Hall to buy a batch of Dragon Tiger pills for Autumn Moon to help her cultivate. When he was buying the Dragon Tiger pills, Lu Ming realized that Mulan's was no longer in the Spiritual Medicine Hall. According to the people in the spiritual medicine hall, Mullins had returned to the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Mullins became the hall master of the spiritual medicine hall as a trial. Now that the trial was over, she naturally returned to the Mystic Essence Sword sect. After handing over the skills and pills to Autumn Moon, Lu Ming returned to his room and entered the Temple of Paragon. He swallowed a qi-gathering pill and started cultivating. Like other pills, the moment the qi-gathering pill entered the mouth, a strong suction force came from the spine. It absorbed the medicinal properties of the qi-gathering pill and refined the impurities. Pure energy surged into the body and was converted by Lu Ming into true qi. Qi-gathering pill was a low-grade level 2 pill. It was much stronger than the Dragon Tiger pill, but much weaker than the Spirit-reinforcing pill. Lu Ming's cultivation continued to rise. However, Lu Ming's true qi was 2 times more condensed than ordinary true qi. If he wanted to raise his cultivation, he would need 3 times more energy than ordinary true qi. In other words, if Lu Ming wanted to increase his cultivation, he would need to consume 3 times more energy than an ordinary person. There was nothing they could do about it. Being strong meant that they had to pay a higher price. After refining all 10 energy-amassing pills, Lu Ming's cultivation base broke through from the early stage of Martial Warrior 3rd rank to the early stage of Martial Warrior 4th rank. This was a total of 20,000 silver taels. Lu Ming had only managed to increase his rank by 1 level. This could be considered extravagant. No one else could afford it. Even the elite disciples of the Lu clan could only receive 2 qi-amassing pills a year. Lu Ming was not satisfied with this speed at all. After using up 10 qi-amassing pills, Lu Ming went to the Spirit Medicine Hall and bought 30 qi-amassing pills in one go. Even with a 10% discount, he still spent a total of 54,000 taels of silver. All of a sudden, Lu Ming was left with less than 15,000 taels of silver from the 130,000 taels of silver that he had obtained from the Viper Bandits. After buying the pills, Lu Ming continued to cultivate. The higher one's cultivation base, the more energy they needed to increase it. When Lu Ming had refined all 30 energy-amassing pills, Lu Ming's cultivation base had risen to the early stage of Martial Warrior 6th rank. After consolidating his cultivation base, more than a month had passed. There was only half a month left before the Mystic Essence Sword sect opened its doors to accept disciples. In this month, Lu Ming had gained a lot. Not only did his cultivation base increase rapidly, but his martial skills also improved by leaps and bounds. The Flame Dragon Fist and Dragon Snake Steps had both reached the 5th level, reaching perfection. As for the high-grade yellow rank Flowing Light Sword Art, he had also reached the 4th level, reaching perfection. Lu Ming's strength had increased by leaps and bounds compared to a month and a half ago. But the most shocking thing was Autumn Moon. In this month, with the help of the Cloud Jade Arts and the Dragon Tiger Pills, Autumn Moon had actually opened 3 divine veins, leaving Lu Ming and Li Ping dumbfounded. The reason why Lu Ming could open 3 divine veins was because of the divine rank art of the Battle Dragon and the strange bloodline that had yet to fully mature. But Autumn Moon's bloodline had yet to awaken, and she was still cultivating a low-grade yellow rank art. This was too terrifying. But no matter what, Lu Ming and Li Ping were extremely happy for Autumn Moon. On this day, Lu Ming prepared to leave for the Mystic Essence Sword sect. "Mother, here's 10,000 taels of silver. Keep it for future use." In the courtyard, Lu Ming took out 10,000 taels of silver and handed it to Li Ping. "Ming, what are you doing? You're about to go to the Mystic Essence Sword sect. You'll need a lot of money for your cultivation in the future. Why are you giving it to me? I don't lack anything in the Lu family." Li Ping hurriedly pushed the silver back to Lu Ming. Lu Ming smiled. "Mother, Ming had a fortuitous encounter. I don't lack money at all. Keep it and use it slowly in the future." Looking at Lu Ming's confident and determined eyes, Li Ping did not refuse and kept the silver. Looking at the energetic Lu Ming in front of her, Li Ping was extremely relieved and proud. Her son finally had a bright future. "Ming, let Autumn Moon accompany you to the Mystic Essence Sword sect this time," Li Ping said with a gentle smile after thinking for a while. "Madam, who will take care of you if I leave?" Autumn Moon's face changed. "Silly girl, Don't I have Chun Tao and the other 3 now? Why would I be afraid that no one will take care of me? Moreover, with your martial arts talent, it would be a waste for you to stay by my side. Li Ping patted Autumn Moon's head and said gently, Madam. Tears welled up in Autumn Moon's eyes as she rolled her eyes. Lu Ming sighed. Indeed, with Autumn Moon's martial arts talent, it would be a waste for her to stay in the Lu family. Lu Ming also had the same plan. He wanted to bring Autumn Moon to the Mystic Essence Sword Sect to see if she could join the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Perhaps there would be someone in the Mystic Essence Sword Sect who could help Autumn Moon awaken her bloodline. All right, Minger, it's getting late. You should leave now. Li Ping said. Mother will leave first. Take care of yourself. Lu Ming was also reluctant to part with her. Go, be careful. Li Ping said with a smile. Madam, take care of yourself. Autumn Moon will come back to visit you. Autumn Moon said with tears in her eyes. Go. Li Ping nodded and smiled. Lu Ming nodded and did not say much. He turned around and left with Autumn Moon. Some things did not depend on words, but on actions. Looking at Lu Ming's back view as he left, Li Ping's eyes were slightly red. She muttered to herself softly. Ming-er, I believe that the next time I see you, you will already be a true powerhouse, just like your father. Lu Ming brought Autumn Moon to the Lu family's stables. As Autumn Moon had never learned how to ride a horse, she only took a green scale horse and left the city. Outside the windy fire city, Lu Ming shook the reins and the green scale horse rushed out like a gust of wind. The vast land was boundless. Lu Ming leaned against Qiu Yu in his arms, smelling the faint fragrance of Qiu Yu's hair as they galloped between heaven and earth. Instantly, a sense of pride and lofty ambition grew in his heart. Lying on a beauty's lap while drunk, traveling the world with a sword, repaying favors and taking revenge, accompanied by a beauty, this was the dream of all men. A man's dream was always in the martial world. A pot of wine, a song of sorrow, a lifetime of insolence. A hero traveling the world with a sword, blood staining the blue sky. In this life, since Lu Ming had obtained the Temple of Paragon and rose to power, Lu Ming would not be satisfied with being ordinary. Chapter 24. The green-scaled horse was covered in green scales, and possessed the bloodline of a demonic beast. It was extremely strong and could travel 3,000 miles in a day. 10 days later, Lu Ming and Autumn Moon arrived at Mystic Sword City. Mystic Sword City was only 50 miles away from the Mystic Sword Sect. It was the closest city to the Mystic Sword Sect, so it was extremely prosperous. The population and area were more than 10 times that of Firestorm City. Caravans from other parts of the Blazing Sun Empire came and went. It was very lively. The streets were wide enough for 10 beast carriages to travel side by side. On both sides of the streets, there were shops. It was the first time Lu Ming and Autumn Moon had come to such a big city. The two of them were like country bumpkins entering the city. They were extremely curious and looked around. After walking for half a day, their stomachs were growling. The two of them found a restaurant and walked in. The restaurant was 3 stories high. The interior was elegantly decorated. The two of them walked up to the 3rd floor. On the 3rd floor, more than half of the tables were already occupied. When Lu Ming and Autumn Moon walked in, everyone's eyes lit up. Lu Ming had a slender figure and a delicate face. He was wearing a swordsman's robe and looked very handsome. Autumn Moon had a graceful figure and was pure and charming. Walking together with Lu Ming, they looked like a golden couple. There were 2 young men sitting at one of the tables. One of them was wearing a brocade robe and had a jade belt around his waist. He looked very noble and was about 17 or 18 years old. The other one was about the same age. He was skinny and dressed like a servant. When the brocade-robed young man saw Lu Ming and Autumn Moon walk in, his eyes lit up. To be more precise, he was staring at Autumn Moon with a burning gaze. When he looked at Lu Ming, his eyes revealed a trace of killing intent. A flower stuck in cow dung. The brocade-robed young man muttered. Lu Ming and Autumn Moon naturally did not notice the gazes of others. The two of them found a table by the window and sat down. They then ordered a few dishes and a pot of wine and started eating. Young master, there are so many people in Mystic Sword City. Autumn Moon raised her wine cup and took a sip. Her cheeks instantly turned red as she looked at Lu Ming with misty eyes. Lu Ming also raised his cup and drank it. He then said, "Yes, there are only 2 days until the Mystic Sword Sect's annual disciple recruitment." Right at this moment, the young master in embroidered clothes raised his wine cup and walked over with the thin young man. "Miss." The young master in brocade clothes raised his wine cup and said. However, his eyes were wandering all over Chiuyu's body. He didn't hide the heat in his eyes. Chiuyu instantly felt uncomfortable when Wei Ziming looked at her like that. She felt disgusted and said, "I'm sorry, I drank just now. I don't want to drink now." Being rejected by Chiuyu on the spot, Wei Ziming's face immediately darkened. "Stupid girl, what do you mean? Our young master asked you to accompany him to drink, because he thinks highly of you. Don't be so shameless." The skinny young man beside Wei Ziming shouted coldly. He then turned to Lu Ming and shouted, "Kid, why are you still sitting there? Hurry up and scram to the side. My young master wants your position." Lu Ming frowned. These two people were really arrogant. Lu Ming didn't say a word, and the two of them asked him to get lost. Where did this wild dog come from? Why is it barking and barking here? Lu Ming lifted his wine cup and took another sip, speaking coldly. "Kid, how dare you talk to me like that? You're courting death." The skinny young man's face was extremely ugly. He shouted and grabbed at Lu Ming's throat with his fingers like an eagle's claws. The claws tore through the air, creating a chi-chi sound. It was incomparably sharp, and it was a killing move from the very start. If Lu Ming's throat was grabbed by him, it would definitely be broken. He was really overbearing. He was just a servant, and he wanted to kill him. Just a second-layer martial warrior. Get lost. Lu Ming shouted coldly and slapped. This slap landed heavily on the skinny young man's face. The skinny young man screamed and his body flew out and fell to the ground. This caused the others in the restaurant to be stunned. Then they started to whisper among themselves. Who is this kid? He even dared to hit Wei Ziming's servant? How dare he? Wei Ziming is the young master of the city lord of Fire City. This kid is finished. I guess this kid doesn't know Wei Ziming's background. Otherwise he wouldn't dare to hit Wei Ziming's servant. After all, you have to look at the owner before beating a dog. The discussions around naturally reached Lu Ming's ears. Lu Ming suddenly realized that they were from Fire City. No wonder they were so arrogant. There were tens of thousands of cities in the Sun Empire. According to their size, they were divided into different levels. They were mainly divided into low-level, mid-level, and high-level. Fire City was a low-level city. Many people might not have heard of it. However, Fire City was a high-level city. It was powerful and famous in the eastern part of the Sun Empire. Ah. Kid, you dare to hit me? You're dead. You're dead. The skinny young man shouted crazily. Wei Ziming's face was even gloomier. His eyes flashed with cold killing intent. He stared at Lu Ming and said, Kid, do you know? I'm the young master of the city lord's mansion. I just found out. Lu Ming said calmly. Oh, so you didn't know just now. But it's not too late to know now. Now kneel down and apologize. Slap yourself 30 times. Then leave this girl behind and get lost immediately. I can consider letting you go. Wei Ziming said confidently. He believed that Lu Ming would definitely agree after knowing his identity. However, in the next moment he was stunned. This was because Lu Ming merely glanced at him casually and said lightly, I originally thought that your dog was a fool. It turns out that you are even more foolish than him. Now get out of my sight immediately. Otherwise, I will slap you too. Everyone in the restaurant fell silent. Wei Ziming was arrogant, but they didn't expect Lu Ming to be even more arrogant. Kid, how dare you trick me? You're courting death. Wei Ziming was furious. He slapped Lu Ming's face. His palm contained a huge amount of true qi. His cultivation of a 5th-grade martial warrior was undoubtedly revealed. However, before he could slap, Lu Ming grabbed his wrist. Crack. Then the sound of bones breaking was heard. A heart-wrenching pain was felt, causing Wei Ziming to howl in pain. Ah. My hand. Bastard, let go of me. I want you to die without a burial place. Wei Ziming howled in pain. Slap. However, in the next moment, Lu Ming slapped him in the face, causing Wei Ziming's screams to stop abruptly. Wei Ziming widened his eyes and stared blankly at Lu Ming. He was dumbstruck. He didn't expect Lu Ming to really slap him. "I said if you don't get lost, I'll slap you too." Lu Ming's calm voice sounded. "Then slap." Another slap was heard, this time on the other side of Wei Ziming's face. Suddenly, both sides of Wei Ziming's face swelled up like a pig's head. Chapter 25. Hissed gasps could be heard from the crowd. On the third floor, everyone looked at Lu Ming in shock. Previously, when Lu Ming slapped the skinny young man away, everyone guessed that Lu Ming dared to attack, because he didn't know Wei Ziming. If he knew Wei Ziming's identity, Lu Ming wouldn't have dared to attack. But they never expected that Lu Ming would still dare to attack Wei Ziming after knowing his identity. Moreover, he was even more ruthless. He was too arrogant and domineering. Wei Ziming stood up awkwardly. He suppressed his anger and looked at Lu Ming with hatred. "Kid, if you have guts, leave your name." "Lu Ming." Lu Ming smiled faintly and said his name calmly. He wasn't even afraid of the Duanmu family, so why would he be afraid of the Wei family? "Fine, we'll see." Wei Ziming gritted his teeth and said viciously. Then, he went downstairs with the skinny young man. "In my opinion, this Wei Ziming won't let this go. He'll definitely take revenge. That's for sure. Wei Huaqing has always been domineering. This time Wei Ziming suffered such a big loss. How could he let it go so easily?" Wei Ziming's younger brother, Wei Ziyo, is a rare genius of the Wei family. This time, he also came to participate in the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's disciple recruitment exam. He's known as the top 100 experts in this batch of newcomers. After Wei Ziming left, there was a lot of discussion in the restaurant. But Lu Ming just smiled faintly and continued to eat and drink with Qiuyu. Outside the restaurant, Wei Ziming's face was gloomy and vicious. "Eldest young master, should we find second young master and ask him to deal with this person?" the skinny young man asked. "Of course we should tell second brother. But we don't have to do it now. Mystic Essence Sword Sect's disciple recruitment exam is in 2 days. After the exam, the Mystic Essence Sword Sect will hold a trial for the new disciples except for Qilin Courtyard. At that time, second brother will kill this Lu Ming in the trial. I want him to die in despair right after he joins the Mystic Essence Sword Sect," Wei Ziming said viciously. After Lu Ming and Autumn Moon finished eating, they strolled around the profound Sword City for a while, then found an inn and booked 2 rooms. After entering the room, Lu Ming sat down cross-legged. Feeling the numbness and itchiness coming from his spine, Lu Ming's face showed a hint of joy. After almost 4 months, he finally felt that his bloodline was about to fully grow out. There was only one step left. Lu Ming felt that it would take at least 3 to 5 days, and at most half a month for the bloodline to completely grow out. His bloodline had not yet grown, but it already had all kinds of strange effects. Lu Ming was very much looking forward to what kind of abilities his bloodline would have once it was fully grown. What level of bloodline could it be? After silently sensing it for a while, Lu Ming began to circulate the true art of fighting dragon, and began to cultivate. Between heaven and earth, the spiritual energy converged towards Lu Ming. Time passed and night fell. The inn fell into silence. Whoosh! Whoosh! Suddenly, Lu Ming opened his eyes, because he heard the sound of something tearing through the air coming from outside the room. Although the sound was very soft, it still did not escape Lu Ming's ears. 5 figures stopped outside Lu Ming's room. 2 figures at the door and 3 figures outside the window. Then the door and window opened at the same time. 5 figures pounced in like lightning. 5 slender black swords shone with a cold light, piercing towards Lu Ming's 5 vital points. Their attacks were fast, accurate, and ruthless. They were obviously well-trained assassins. Puss! Just as the 5 figures pounced, Lu Ming moved. His body exploded, and the black-edged sword turned into a stream of light, disappearing in a flash. Puss! Blood splattered everywhere. One of the assassins had his throat slashed by Lu Ming. Puss! Immediately after, the sword gleam flashed again, like a bolt of lightning in the dark. Immediately after, another 2 killers were killed by Lu Ming. Killing 3 people in an instant was not because these assassins were weak. On the contrary, these assassins were not weak at all. The 3 assassins killed by Lu Ming just now were at the 6th level of the martial warrior realm. The remaining 2 were at the 7th level of the martial warrior realm. With such strength, even an 8th level martial warrior expert would be killed under a joint attack. It was just that Lu Ming was stronger, and had already discovered them. Not good. The target's strength is inconsistent with the information we received. Retreat. One of the assassins exclaimed and quickly retreated. Since you're here, stay here. Lu Ming's voice was cold. As soon as his voice fell, he used the dragon snake steps. With a step, he appeared behind an assassin. With a slash of his sword, the assassin's head fell to the ground. Then he took a few steps and caught up with another assassin. Go to hell. Seeing that he could not escape, the last assassin roared and rushed towards Lu Ming without caring about his life. Boom. The flame dragon fist exploded and 2 consecutive punches landed on the assassin's body. The assassin was sent flying backward and crashed heavily into the wall, vomiting large mouthfuls of blood. Speak, who are you? Who sent you? Lu Ming asked coldly. Hee, there's no harm in telling you. We're from the Shadow Wolf Pavilion. Someone paid for your life. As for who paid, don't even think about it. Lu Ming, just wait for the endless pursuit of our Shadow Wolf Pavilion. At this point, the assassin spat out a mouthful of black blood. He had actually committed suicide by swallowing poison. Shadow Wolf Pavilion? Lu Ming frowned slightly. Lu Ming had heard of the Shadow Wolf Pavilion before. It was one of the 4 major assassin organizations in the Blazing Sun Empire. It was extremely powerful and specialized in killing people for money. However, it was extremely secretive and no one knew where the headquarters of the Shadow Wolf Pavilion was. Therefore, countless people hated these 4 assassin organizations, but they could not eliminate them. Some people even said that these 4 assassin organizations were supported by the 5 major sections. They were nurtured by the 5 major sects to assassinate the geniuses of the enemy forces. However, these were merely rumors. No one knew the truth. Who paid the assassin of the Shadow Wolf Pavilion to assassinate me? Lu Ming frowned. The first thing he thought of was Lu Yao, Lu Yunxiong, and the Duanmu family. These people were the most likely culprits. There was also Wei Ziming. However, the possibility of it being Wei Ziming was not high. Wei Ziming more or less knew about his strength. However, the assassin just now had called out to Lu Ming. His strength did not match the information he had received. Therefore, the most likely culprits were Lu Yao, Lu Yunxiong, and the Duanmu family. Looks like this Mystic Essence Sword sect is really turbulent. Lu Ming sneered. A glint of murderous intent flashed across his eyes. Young master, are you all right? Qiu Yu walked out of the room. When she saw the corpse lying on the ground, she was shocked. The commotion just now had already alerted the others in the inn. Qiu Yu, let's go. Let's change to another inn. Lu Ming pulled Qiu Yu, jumped down from the inn's window, and ran forward. The 2 of them walked in the dark. Half an hour later, the 2 of them checked into another inn. For the next 2 days, the 2 of them did not leave the inn. Other than eating, they were cultivating in seclusion. In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.